What's up guys, to a new episode of the Stanley. So today I hope it's gonna be pretty good, but let's go on to see. So you start in the office, you gotta go down like you said.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, yeah, I will do that then.
When Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
You are right, Mr. James.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I did not actually. What is this?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Okay. See. Can I get down? Oh. Yeah, up I'm in. Can I get some?
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
I actually think so too. Maybe.
Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
I didn't have any other choice, guys, so I needed to. Okay. Now we know what.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You're right, Mr. James. You're right.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm back.
Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room.
Yeah.
What a gorgeous, gorgeous room.
Number one.
Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I don't think so.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
You know, red is my favorite color, but blue is too. What should I take? Give me a sign, God. Give me a sign. Sign. I think. Fuck it.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh, okay. Oh, not that way. Thank you. Please, not the same one. Oh shit. I'm gonna shit my pants now. Oh, okay. Loading the game.
What do we want?
What
What are we looking for?
Holy shit.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
I'm gonna pretty blind right now. Let's keep on.
No, wait. Where are you going?
You want me to go back, you idiot?
Right. Where were we?
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. Yeah, I have enough of this bullshit. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. Let's keep on, guys.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Okay, you're getting me paranoid now. Oh, I see, I see. Let me try that. Shit. Shit. Shit.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Okay, I don't know if this is a trick or what it is. Fuck that, I'm not taking a chance. I'm gonna go back to the beauty. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, your choice. Oh, it's great.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
My eyes, guys, my eyes. Holy shit, okay, I'm getting pretty sick right now. Gotta look. And now I'm just getting sick. I need to do this, I need to.
No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Okay. You suck.
Are you are going to stay here, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up now? I don't have time for this. Hello? Hello? No fucking way. I'm not even clear. I don't.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Actually not. Actually not. Fuck it, guys. It's only one.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Okay, let's make something cool. What the fuck? Call it.
No! Oh,
I'm alive.
thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Are you fuck with me? Seriously? No, I'm gonna do it again, man. This game is freaking making me angry now. get
No.
first now.
No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Okay.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yes, it is, Mr. James. Yes, it is. Okay, let's move, guys. Let's move. 323.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, actually not.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Yeah, that's probably.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Come on.
Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
I am okay.
What's up? Fine.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yes, it did. Come on.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What? Okay, this game is...
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, nice. Don't tell me that was it. Please don't tell me that was it. If that was it, this game is crazy. What? Seriously? Are you joking with me? Okay, this is the last one, guys.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might come into a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yes, guys. So, I hope I get pretty long on this one. or else I'm gonna end the video because you know this is pretty boring right now. So
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
no, that's not a good
Although
idea.
this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Wait, oh, okay.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I think we have made this one before, but yeah, let's try it again and see if we get it right this time. So, come on, come on.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
No. I haven't actually, so it's pretty weird, isn't it? Crazy, crazy. Oh, can I I'm sorry, guys. Exit. Nah, that's not a good idea.
Stanley stood on the snow.
What? Did you guys hear it?
Stanley stood on the roof.
What?
Push the button 9.
You guys heard it?
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you? Stanley walked over the bridge.
No.
And finally, he pushed the number 9. Stanley stood on the snow.
Narrative. Kevin ways of the natural
Now then, this
records.
elevator for sure would get him
What?
right back on track to where he was supposed to
They
be.
love for that entry game. Oh, okay. Times over the 2 years or there are clips from Ellis takes that were not used in the final game.
Stanley pushed.
Okay. Okay. It's made control facility.
Now look at that.
Make control facility. Facility. Let's just go to the exit. Let's see what happens.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Yeah.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No,
Excellent.
perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit.
I'm still gonna die, so guys, that was it for the episode 2, and next episode I'm gonna try to find a secret room, as we call it. So have a good one, guys, and see you in the next one.